Hello, welcome to today's Homemaker Chats. It's been a while since I've done a Homemaker's Chats video. I was thinking about making it a goal for myself to do Friday Homemakers Chats, and I even contemplated what it would look like to do a live Homemaker Chats, so that way there could be some interaction since these type of videos are pretty relaxed anyways. I would have my brief outline of the things that I want to share with you, and then if there's any things, comments, questions, then it could be a little bit more interactive since these are pretty unscripted and relaxed. So if that's something y'all would be interested in, it would probably be on a Friday. It makes me nervous to do a live, honestly, but I think that it could be fun. So we'll see if there's any interest in that. And if there's not, that's totally fine. I can just keep on doing these recorded Homemaker Chats as well because y'all seem to like these and I think it's fun, so that's why we're doing it. But I'll give you a brief outline of what I'm going to share on today because I also know that you all like to know what to expect with the video. That way you can fast forward through the things you do not like. So I'm going to have some updates at the beginning of different things, topics, just general updates, and then I'm going to share my Azure haul from June. I already recorded it back in June, so I'll insert that in here for those interested, and then I will share on books that I'm reading. Oh, and then with the beginning updates and sales and stuff going on, I'm also going to show you how I make capsules out of powders. So that's a way of saving money if you buy herbs in the form of powders, or if you powder herbs yourself, then you can make your own capsules if you have a capsule maker, which I think it's always one of those things that it's a good investment to have, even if you're not in a season of life of being able to do it right now. It's just a nice tool to have. Yeah, so then I'll share books and then we will see how much time has gone by, and I will share on thrift finds. So let's get started with today's video. I do want to start out letting you know that every single chatty type of video that I've done, whether it's on building the home economy or biblical womanhood, all of those videos where I'm just sitting down and talking, every single one of those has been turned into a podcast. And if you didn't know, Scott and I, we had videos that we did together for many years, since the end of 2018 was when we started, and all of those videos that where we're talking have been turned into podcasts. And so I carried on with my channel, putting the videos into audio form on that podcast. Right now I have it titled as Building the Home Economy with Scott and Kelli. That may change. It still kind of feels, I don't know, not a total representation of what is talked about. I've contemplated just changing it to Home with Kelli since Scott and I haven't done videos together, making it a Home with Kelli podcast. But in some ways that makes me sad because so much of the podcasts on there are the ones that I've done with Scott, and so yeah, I will see. But if you want to listen to any and all past videos, you can. It's on every podcast platform, or you could listen to it directly from my website, which is homewithkelli.co. If you haven't seen my website, I do have some blog posts on it. I have all the podcasts on it, and I do have a shop where normally I have tea, journals, thrift finds on it, but in June I took all of those things off and I put all of our used books on it. Actually, I do have some new books on it because there was a season of life when books that we really liked, we just bought them in massive quantity from the author in order to bless the author because those books blessed us. And so we have some extras of those new books, and I put them all on our website because we got new bookshelves, and so we were reorganizing our books, going through, trying to simplify our life, declutter, and anytime we had doubles or we've already read the book and we're probably not going to reread them or anything like that, I've put all of those books on the website. And the reason it's only books right now is so that way I can give you the media mail discount when you mail books through USPS. It's cheaper if you use It's usually cheaper if you use the media mail, and so you will get that shipping pricing instead of higher shipping pricing for shipping non-book items. And so those books will only be up for another week. So they will be up until the end of this week, and whatever doesn't sell won't sell. And so I haven't actually shared that on a video yet. I've shared it in posts, but I am going to show you some of the books that are on there just very briefly. This is the Sweet Briar Spray. Actually, it's just the Sweet Briar series. And I have my own set of these. I don't know when I decided to buy it again, but I obviously thought that they looked really good because I bought them twice. And they're beautiful hardback books, and I can't even recommend it or not because I haven't read it myself, but they look really good. So these are up, created to be his helpmeet. This is my last copy. It is brand new, never used, and with it will be the complimentary journal that goes with it. Brand new, and all of these prices are cheaper than if you were to get them new or if you were to get them on thrift books. I tried to, well, I did. I beat all the prices. So just so you know, I've made sure that you're actually getting a deal if you're buying any of the books. And then I do still have several copies of Preparing to Be His Helpmeet. I did not read this before I got married, but before I recommended it, I did read it, and I kept a copy for myself because it is a really, really good book. So I have several of these. I think I might have 2 more of these. Southern Ground. It is a fresh milled flour cookbook. Again, these are also brand new. So I think I have 2 of those left. Not a new book, but I had 2 copies of this because I love this book so much. It is so encouraging. If you watched my video, I'll link it below, but it's the video I did last fall on finding contentment in seasons of waiting, or when you're waiting upon the Lord or dealing with disappointment. And one of the concepts that really blessed me from this book, I talked about in that video about believing that I am blessed right now, that it's not when something happens. Like for me, it's not when I get pregnant that I am blessed, but I can be blessed and believe that I am blessed right now. And that keeps me from feeling sorry for myself or being deeply depressed or sad or dealing with the disappointments of hope deferred. And that concept of believing that I am blessed right now stemmed from this book, which is like every single day, it gives you a little excerpt for the whole entire year. And yeah, she's not explicitly Christian, I do want to say that, but I do believe her principles are Christian. I will put the shop link below. Those will be up until next Sunday, and then I'm going to take it down, and then the tea will be back up on the website. So thank you all. So many of you all actually had already bought a lot of the books before I even shared about it. So thank you. That means that you all check out the website and my shop without me even advertising it. So I really appreciate that. I hope you all are enjoying your books if you already got them. Another update is Perfect Supplements has upgraded my coupon code for 2 days only from 10% off, which is the normal amount, to 15% off, and you can use it on top of their bulk discount. So if you buy any 3 of their Perfect Supplements brand, you will get 20% off, and you can mix and match any of those. If you go to their website, you can click on the tab that says Perfect Brands, and it will show you all of the products that you can mix and match, and then that will get added automatically, and then you can add Home with Kelli 10 at checkout, and that will give you 15% off until tomorrow night, midnight, so Tuesday, July 22nd. It's just 2 days. This will probably be the last sale until November. That's when they'll do their other sale, but I think it might be around the same exact sale. I can't actually remember. I could go back and look at an old video, but I think it's very similar. And in the description box below where I have the link, I will share all my favorite items that I buy from them and how I use them. What I did want to show you today is how you can save money by making your own capsules. So if you buy powders instead of capsules, you can make the capsules yourself, and that always ends up being more cost effective than if you were to just buy the capsules. So for instance, I buy their desiccated beef liver powder, and I take this as a multivitamin prenatal vitamin. Beef liver is so good for you. It's been known as nature's multivitamin. So you can buy the capsules, and I do buy their capsules. I think it's very convenient. When we travel to South Africa, I will travel with the capsules because it's just much easier, and it's obviously in a nice bottle so that it's not super questionable. But if you're just using it at home, you can then make your own capsules because you just get the powder. So I thought I would show you how to do that. All you need is a capsule machine, and Azure actually sells these. So I got mine from what's it called? Why can't I think of it? Oh, Mountain Rose Herbs, that's what it's called. Mountain Rose Herbs is where I got mine in 2021 or 2020. I used to do videos on things that I bought from Mountain Rose Herbs, but I don't buy from them anymore. And if you want to know why, I did a whole video on that in 2021 of why I don't buy from them. So I will link that video if that is something you're interested in. So this is what it looks like. I keep mine in the box for storage. This is what it looks like. So that's where you insert your capsules. This little piece goes underneath, and I'll show you how it works and how easy it is. And then this is the little presser. So these are all that come with it. And then you do have to obviously buy the capsules yourself, and you can buy different size machines for different size capsules. I like the size 0 capsules. It is your basic normal size. It is the most common size capsule. So this is how big they are. And I get these from Azure Standard. Or I've also gotten them from iHerb. Sometimes iHerb has them in their clearance section, so I have gotten them from iHerb before too, but usually it's Azure where I get them, and then I just store them in my little container. And so I'm going to show you how I make them. Okay, here is our capsule machine, and then you take your capsules, and I'm gonna actually pour them in here. And the smaller side of the capsule you'll put in this side, and you push it all the way down flat. I'll show you in this one since you can probably see it. And then the bigger size, you just push it into here. So we will carry on and do that for all of them. If you are wondering what that sound is, it is our little baby chicks in the background. All right, so now they're all in there. Okay, so I use a plate underneath of it just to catch anything that, to catch the extra stuff so nothing's wasted. You place this part on top of this part, and then we will scoop in, our desiccated beef liver powder. And you can do this for any supplement that is in powder form. And it comes with this little spreader card, and that's what you use to fill up the hole. And then you swipe it, and then I'm going to swipe it right back into the container. Oh wait, I forgot to press it. That would be helpful. Now we use this little thing. So it's sitting on my lap and I forgot about it. So now put this back on. Push that in. There we go. And we will push it down. That way we can get the most out of this. We'll do that again. So you don't need to scrape it first. I just scraped it first because I completely forgot about this tool because it was sitting on my lap. All right, and now we will scrape it. Now that it's been nicely pressed in. Okay. Now we'll take that bottom piece away. We will put our top part on, and then I will stand up, push it down. Okay, and now the moment of truth, if it worked or not. Dun, da, da. There they are, every single one took. And then to get it out, you just use this side and you press that down. And it pushes them out. Some of them get stuck, like this one, the bottom capsule is crushed, so we're struggling with that one. So this is actually the only one that looks a little bit janky. Let's see if you can see it up close. So you see how it got pressed in? But it still works fine. So here are our desiccated beef liver capsules. So just a few scoops of the powder gave us 24 supplements, whereas the pre-capsuled bottle has 120, and I'm pretty sure, I'll put the prices on the screen, but I'm pretty sure that the capsules are more expensive than the powder, and you're gonna get way more out of the powder than the capsules. Isn't that so cool? It's so fun to make capsules, and obviously there's a time and a season for it. If you have many little children running around, it is probably not the most convenient thing for you to make capsules, but I do think that this is just such a useful tool to have on hand, and you can always use it in the future, or when you do have more time, or when your kids are old enough to help. This could be something that they help you do to build your home economy together. So far this year, I've only ordered from Azure 2 times. At the beginning of this year, I did a huge order from them, and then in June, I placed an order from them, and so I meant to share with you what I got a while ago, and I just never did a Homemaker Chats video. So I'm going to share with you all the things that I got from that Azure haul. I got the lemon juice. This is the best price for lemon juice, and I mainly got this for canning. I will put all the prices on the screen for you like I always used to do, but I figured up the price per ounce, and this Lakewood organic lemon juice ended up being the best price per ounce. This is our absolute favorite rice. It is so good. Not all rice tastes the same. It is a long grain rice, and it cooks very fast. It's delicious. I got more oyster shells for our chickens. I make our chicken feed, and so make sure I always add plenty of oyster shells for them. And then I also save their shells, wash them, and then grind them with my mortar and pestle. And I also add their eggshells back into their food. And I've had people make comments before that they will then eat their own eggs, and we haven't had that problem. Our one chicken that would every once in a while eat someone's egg is the one who had passed away. So it's really not a problem anymore. And even then, she didn't do it very often. She only did it every now and then. I got the sage leaves for the chicken feed, and I wanted the organic, but they were either sold out or the price was significantly different. I can't remember which one. But this is for the chicken feed. And then I got a 1 pound bag of ginger because, like I've said, we have been under the weather, and so we needed more ginger, and theirs is always a good price for ginger. Ginger is actually something I am growing in the garden this year. I grew ginger when we lived in Indiana, but I never transplanted it into the ground. I just kept them in pots, whereas this year I actually moved it into the ground, and so we'll see how it goes. An update on my toothpaste tablets. We love them. That's all we've been using since January when I made them, and I'm actually almost out, and I will need to make a new batch soon. I did order this Desert Essence toothpaste because when we travel, a tube is just far easier than the tablets, because the tablets could get crushed, and it's just so much easier just to grab a tube of toothpaste and take with us. So that's why I got this. And then I used all of our sage seeds, and then I'd like to go ahead and plant some more sage leaves. As you can see, when I bought the chicken feed, I was like, I'd like to grow as much sage as possible so I don't have to buy someone else's dried sage. I can just dry my own. So I got this from them. And then I got these zinnia seeds, and they actually ended up giving me 2 packets of it. So I'm going to plant these. I'll probably plant some outside and start another packet inside. The zinnias have been quite a disaster this year with the slugs. I've never had so many problems trying to grow zinnias from seed in my entire life. But we've had a very, very, very wet spring, and I think that's causing problems with direct sowing zinnias. So lesson learned this year. Next year I will do all of our zinnias starting inside and then transplant them, because yeah, direct sowing this year has not been a good plan for them. This is also for our chicken feed. It is the organic kelp granules. And then I also could add some of these to our smoothie in the morning, which I'll probably do. On to the books that I've been enjoying. So I have been terrible at reading books this summer. I don't know what it is about reading during the summer. Reading books is usually a winter or a fall or an early springtime thing for me. And then usually once the summer hits, audiobooks are my thing. But the one book that we are reading is our car book. I've said in other videos that anytime Scott and I are in the car, whether it's a long road trip or just driving together down the road, we'll have a book in the car and I will read it to us. And the book that we are currently reading is Emma by Jane Austen, and that would not be a book that Scott would normally reach for or choose, but I was like, I really want to read this book. And I love reading Jane Austen books with Scott because it's like, have you ever watched a Hallmark movie with your husband, or Great American Family movie, and like your husband predicts how the whole thing's gonna go? That's pretty much Scott every time we've ever read a Jane Austen book together. This is actually only, I've read Sense and Sensibility. We read Sense and Sensibility together last year, and then I read Pride and Prejudice by myself, but I pretty much gave him the play-by-play as I was reading it. Both of those books were so good, both of the movies were so good, that I really wanted to read another Jane Austen book. I love her style of writing. I think she is hilarious, and all of that has proven to be true with Emma. I am enjoying it so much, and I love reading it with Scott. It's just such a fun book. So we're probably a third of the way through it right now. And if there is a good Emma movie that we should watch after we finish this, I trust in your all's recommendations. And I know that all of these Jane Austen movies have so many different movie makes that are different years of being made. So if there's a good Emma one, please let me know, because after we finish it, I would love to watch a good Emma movie because I'm enjoying this so much. So that's the book that we're reading. I'm still reading through my big Jeanette Oak book. I haven't read it honestly in a week or more because I just haven't been reading much, like I said, but I have been listening to books. And my friend, she told me a while ago that when we were talking about Jane Austen, I think she said it was a Jane Austen book when she was painting a room in her house. She was listening to, and I think it was Pride and Prejudice, and so she always says when she thinks of Pride and Prejudice, she thinks of herself painting that room. And I thought that was so fun to have a book that you're listening to while you paint a room. And so this year I have painted 2 rooms in our house and the bathroom and our guest bedroom / art room. And with the bathroom, I listened to a book called The Listening Path, I think the name of it was, and that is by Julia Cameron. And you've probably heard me mentioning her name before because she has written the book The Artist Way, which I love that book. It's a workbook style, and she's not a Christian. I always have to say that. So she doesn't have the biblical worldview that we have, but I have learned so much from her. And that was the same with this book. There's obviously some things that I disagree with that gets talked about in this book, but the whole focus was on becoming a good listener. So whether that is walking out in creation and being aware of the sounds around you, God, to spend less time that is listening to the Lord and spending less time talking and more time listening. And same with in relationships. Do you cut people off when you're talking to them? Do you talk over people? And learning to be patient with listening, and listening to this book really convicted me of so many things that I can definitely grow in my ability of being a good listener. And I listened to that book on the Libby app. And then for our guest bedroom / art room, I listened to Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. And I think because I've been loving Jane Austen and Jane Eyre is obviously a classic, I thought this would be like they would be in the similar type of reading. And that book I listened to on Apple Podcasts. So LibriVox does free recordings and each chapter is uploaded. So you can listen to that for free as well, and you don't have to worry about it getting returned on you like the Libby app does. If you don't listen to it in 2 weeks, the Libby app returns your book. But with Apple Podcasts, obviously I could take my time listening to it, but I ended up finishing the book in the process of painting that room and all of the other work that needed to be done in that room. But if you haven't read or listened to Jane Eyre, you might want to skip this because I don't want to spoil anything for you. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will say, as I was listening to it, I very quickly realized this is not a humorous Jane Austen romance. It felt very dark. At first I was like, is this some sort of mystery thriller? Like, it gets weird. It gets uncomfortable and bizarre and like murder mystery-esque. It caught me really off guard to the point where I was like, okay, this is quite a dark book. I don't want to spoil anything, but it ends a pretty dark book. So yeah, I honestly was not a huge fan of it. After I finished listening to it, I gave like an entire summary of it to Scott, and he was like, this sounds like a terrible book. And yeah, it is definitely a book I will never reread, ever. I have zero interest. When I get done with Jane Austen books, I'm like, oh, I could reread this over and over, or re-listen to it over and over, rewatch it over and over for the rest of my life. Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre is not one of those books. I have no problem never listening to it or reading it again, although I will say I was very captivated when I was listening to it. So I did want to finish it. I was curious. It was very easy to listen to. So I wouldn't say it's bad because it was brilliantly written. It's not my style. That's it. A great listen, a great read for one time for me. I'm glad I listened to it. I'm glad I know what Jane Eyre is about, but I have no desire to ever relive that experience again. And that leads me to my next book that I started listening to, and I know so many people have loved and recommended this book, but I struggled with it. It is another classic, James Herriot's All Creatures Great and Small, and I reserved that on the Libby app, and it finally came available. And so I do morning walks every day on Monday through Friday. I usually do at least a 30-minute walk. And so I like listening to books during that walk. So it also encourages me to keep walking if I like the book that I'm listening to. And this book was not it. I didn't find myself looking forward to my walks to listen to it, which normally that's like the encouraging part for me is, oh, I get to go listen to my book if I go for this walk. But I don't know, maybe I just didn't get far enough into it. I would say I got a third of the way into it, and then I maxed out my time, my reservation, so the Libby app returned it, and I just don't know if I want to keep listening to it. There wasn't really a storyline that was captivating to me. It was quite boring. It's about a veterinarian from a very long time ago in, I think it was England, and he's a new vet. He's trying to find a job. He gets this job with this old vet who has his clients all worked out, so now he's like interning and trying to get to know the community. And I don't know if you've ever seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, but that is one of those movies I don't like, because I hate movies when everything goes wrong. It just bothers me so much. Maybe it's like the lack of competence that I'm like, this is annoying. I get annoyed with the characters. And there is a character, the old vet in All Creatures Great and Small, that the character annoys me. He forgets the things that he says, he contradicts himself, and it's just not fun for me to listen to. So I didn't finish it, and if you think that it's an amazing book and it gets better after a third of the way and I should keep persevering, let me know. But maybe it's just not my type of book. I'm like, where's this going? I don't know the storyline. There's nothing keeping me here. I have nothing that's like exciting. It just seems like it's a working through the mundane, boring lifestyle of this veterinarian and all of his problems with his community. And I just haven't enjoyed it. So those are the books that I've been listening to, and I need to get back to reading again in the evenings. And the last segment of today's video is on thrift finds. And instead of making a whole video about it, I'm just going to share with you some of the things that I have found recently. And the first is this most adorable, dainty heart bracelet. It is so cute, and it says Avon on it. So you can see this like links together. It's a little heart. And it fits my wrist perfectly. I cannot put it on by myself. I have to have Scott help me, but I'll show you what it looks like. It is so cute. So our favorite little bookstore, antique store that's right down the road from us, we just love them so much, and they had this for $7. And I've been looking for more pretty gold jewelry because I just don't have a lot, and I don't need a lot. I don't want a lot, but I would like one piece. So I have my little gold necklace here, and I have my gold hoops, and now I have a gold bracelet, and I'm content. I just wanted something for when I'm wearing gold to complement that. All of these things I'm sharing today is from that shop. They also had this beautiful Anne of Green Gables book. So this was, I think this was $10, which is quite expensive for a used book, but it is gorgeous. It is so pretty, and I think books of value that are also beautiful are something that are like heirlooms, keepsakes, things that I would want to give to my Lord willing daughters someday. So I loved the colors, and I love Anne of Green Gables. Speaking of books that you can read over and over again, this is one of them. It is so good. And I have inside of it the bookmark that they had, and this was, so that bracelet was $7, this was $10, and this I believe was $4, and it is a copper bookmark with praying hands on it, and it has engraved in it Matthew 7:7, ask and it shall be given to you. I don't know if you can see that. And then this little part. So I imagine how you use it is you clip this part to the front of your Bible or book, and then you can use this part to mark your spot each time. And I just thought it was so cute. I love beautiful things. And I also think that that's just such a beautiful scripture reminder. Ask and it shall be given to you. And then the last thing, which is my favorite, is this beautiful brass wall sconce, and it works. And this was $15, but this is what it looks like. So pretty. It still works. It has the back to where you can just easily hang it on the wall. And I have wall sconces that are very meaningful and special to me in our bedroom. And I just love lighted wall features. And I thought $15 was a very good price for this. And so we'll either put this in our laundry room. That's the next room up that I will be painting. I originally, when I got it, I was like, oh, this is going to look so good in our bathroom, because our bathroom is this really pretty teal color, and I thought this would look so good in there, but our bathroom's very small, so there's nowhere to put it in there that wouldn't be weird or in the way. And then I also thought about the guest room, which that's still an option, but I'm also leaning laundry room. I know the exact spot on the wall. There's an outlet there. And if we do end up using the same teal in the bathroom and here, I think it'll look really good. So that is all of my thrift finds that I have for you. And that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget the book sale going on my website. That will be up for another week, and then I'm taking it down. And then the Perfect Supplements sale does end tomorrow night, Tuesday night at midnight. So I'll have all the details for that linked below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions or feedback for future videos, or if you want me to attempt to do Homemaker Chats live, please let me know in the comment section below. I always appreciate your feedback. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.